Okay, there's quite a bit of noise here in the park. The noise on the planet's increasing. I'm Andy Lee Graham, and I've lived in 114 countries, and I've been doing this for 26 years. I don't have a home that I live in all the time. I don't rent a place by the year. I travel as a living. Okay, that is my life. Okay, today I want to talk about the real news of Israel. The real news of Israel. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because so many people have, ironically, it's like maybe Providence. I heard this term today called illusion of information adequacy. And they did this study, I think it was in Ohio or something. But they find that people really believe that they're adequately informed to make a decision. And generally they're not. And I truly know this, that I have to be extremely careful because I have to live and die by my decisions because I'm changing places every day. And so the discernment, the ability to understand what is the correct information is highly important, both for my safety and the amount of money I spend. But the real news of Israel, so what's happening right now, if you look at the United States, they're talking about misinformation and they're acting like somebody knows the correct information. You never know the correct information. You only have a signal that maybe you're on the right path. Okay, it's hola amigo, but it's really difficult to know the correct information because there's so many layers to this. Okay, but I'm going to talk about this and try to explain how I'm researching to go to Israel. I'm going to go to Israel here in 2024 in about December. I'm going back to the United States to do this medical operation on my aorta, an aneurysm. It's called, TBE or something. Thoracic branching endogram. But it's a relatively quick operation, and the recovery time, the doctor says, is immediate. Okay, but the point is there's an illusion of information adequacy. That's when a person is giving you an opinion where they feel so wonderfully correct that they can't believe they could be possibly wrong. And this is the opposite of intellectual thinking, the opposite of a philosopher. A philosopher is a person that believes in the truth. And anybody that believes in the truth knows they can always be wrong. Okay. Sometimes I'll say I'm 99% sure because I'm never absolutely sure. But sometimes I think more positive than others. And a lot of people will talk about facts, and they really are. The minute they start saying these are facts, I want them to realize they thought the world was flat. They thought that was a fact too, and they thought that there's so many things that are wrong in the thing. A guy on these, I was studying my knees the other day, and this guy was very good. He's he's in Texas, and he's a physical therapist, and he was saying that science and medical industry, the medical stuff is still in the dark ages, and we're in the dark ages. But I am going to Israel to witness. That's my goal. I will take actual video signals. And this is how information is collected. We have signals of truth. And a philosopher realizes that he or she can only be pointed towards the right direction, and then we start pulling on the strings of knowledge and truth. But I found a YouTube channel today that was historically correct in how it is portraying Israel. And I really felt good because it was giving a lot of data. Okay, and it kept giving historical things that happened and not so much the interpretation or the opinion on what happened, but basically went through it. It's called Israel My Channel. Israel My Channel. It's really, if you want to learn about Israel, it has a lot of very current, and I think he puts out videos almost daily, very highly well produced. But people, when they're the things that distort the truth is obviously politics, when you want to win, advertising, fame, and the power distorts the truth. Advertising, fame, and power. So if you see a person that's got advertising on their website, you got to realize that they're influenced, and that's the reason why I don't want advertising or advertisers. And I often think I could never be a radio announcer because I'm not going to stand up and make an advertisement for anybody unless I truly believe in the product. And most of the things that I'm ever do talk about, I'm advertising or I'm promoting for free because I believe in it. Hey Molly, that's you. Okay, philosophy is the love of truth, but let's listen to this again. Illusion of information adequacy. People are thinking they actually understand the geopolitical situation in Israel. And the reason why I'm going over there is to witness, then to give you signals. One of the benefits to the Jewish community or the world is when I'm going over there, you could direct me on what type of videos you want me to take. And I don't do these editing videos where I turn them on, turn them off, turn them. I don't do that kind of editing. I basically turn on the camera and let it run. That way you can see all the words in between, all the story, the subtext in between. And I really offended when people have all these flashes of this, flashes of that, whatever. Because what it works in certain types of video, like this Israel, my channel, it works because he's doing historical stuff. But when you're trying to record or document the world, especially documentaries, very few of them are. Most of them, you'll learn that if you travel the world, most documentaries have an agenda and there's very, very little truth to them. But signals tell clues. So there's signals, okay? But you can't trust anybody. You can't trust yourself, okay? There are no absolutes. There are no facts. Everything evolves, and there's little edges of the truth on everything. But everybody's a distraction to me. Absolutely everybody that gets near me has an influence on me, and it's a distraction. That's one reason why I like traveling, is because I can think clearly. Everybody's a distraction. Everybody has a power to influence me. I may soften the blow on words just because I know a person has a dog, okay? I'm going to Israel to witness. The more people witness, and the more people I talk to, the better. Now, there's two types of people to talk to. People that have become friends for some reason, maybe the hotel owner or the place, if a family will allow me to stay with them and kind of immerse myself in their living quarters. And then the people that I idly meet. I believe that knowledge is collected in four different ways. It's people that you know are philosophers that believe in the truth, information you collect from them, 25%. 25% from complete strangers, 25% from the media. That means the radio, the television, whatever. And then 25% from just the knowledge base. I'm missing something here. Okay. The top leaders know, the people in the middle do not know. But the top leaders of a country never know what's going on with their people. They can't. It's like when Bill Gates acts like he goes to Africa and understands what's happening in Africa. It's just not possible. Really hard for Elon Musk to go down to the people's level. But the people at the bottom of the thing, riding on public transport, have an opinion on what's going on in the world. I remember in the United States when I would go to the Chamber of Commerce, and a lot of times they would announce all these programs, and they'd have these secret programs. And then I just walk into the office, and nobody that was working in the office knew it was supposed to be a secret, and they'd tell you what it was. But the normal people working at something know what's going on in a lot of ways and can signal you to the correct path to take. Knowledge is like peeling an onion, and you really have to go slow, and you have to be very careful that you're not trying to act like you know facts. But I spend about 2 hours a day on trying to understand Israel and the situation and how it's dynamically, interplayed with the rest of the world. And it's kind of sad what's going on, because in a way, I'm ashamed of the United States, the country that I was born in, and I'm not really going to claim anymore because basically they're acting, all they care about is money. They're not giving money to Israel, but they're giving money to Ukraine, and obviously, in my opinion, the Ukraine war is just a way for the military-industrial complex, as defined by Eisenhower, to make money. Okay, all it is, Ukraine is just a make-money war. But people live in a box, and that's the reason why we can never trust it. I live in a box. I have a window of information that I can see. I cannot understand all the information on the planet. That's why it's an illusion of information adequacy. You have an illusion that you have enough information to make a decision. I have many ways that I collect information. I'm going to go through them right now. I will tell you the only one, I almost can say that if anybody's watching MSNBC and you're a regular watcher, that's got to be the most wanky news station I've ever seen. They actually are, I did a Control F search on the page one time, and all they talk about is Trump, okay? And so all it is a gossip thing, and it's really of no value. So if you're watching MSNBC and you're watching my videos, please go watch something else, because I don't really want you around my world. It's obviously the worst possible news source there is. But I actually have over 150 different YouTube channels that I watch, but I have about 14, 15 that I read every day. And I have a way to do it. But universities are also not to be trusted, because most of the corporations are paying for these things, and these people will, 85% of people will make as instructed whatever they are told to do, create whatever knowledge they are creating, because they have to get published in university, and only about 5% of the people on the planet can actually be trusted. Everybody else will do about anything for money, but university stuff is almost always biased. I have 15. What I have, and I do this on a computer, and I do it in Chrome, and I have bookmarks. And if you do a right click on your bookmarks, you can say open all these, open them all in a new window, or you can say open them all in a new tab. So I have about 14 websites. 2 of them are Russian, kind of Russian, Sputnik and RT News, which I consider RT News one of the best news sources on the planet, because it's giving them both sides of the picture. But it's in English, and so is Sputnik. Sputnik seems pretty biased. I also open up MSNBC because I just can't believe how silly this is, and I always want to know, because sometimes what they're complaining about is telling what you should really be looking at. So if you really want to know what you should be agreeing with, just go look at MSNBC and go. Then the truth is the opposite. But so here's some ways that you find out information. On-the-ground independent journalist. So I'm an on-the-ground journalist telling you what's going on in the world. I'll never forget my nephew really kind of being a wanker, saying that I'm not a journalist, and I go. I've made over 5,000 videos. I've written over 10,000 blogs. Call it what you may. I am reporting in both visual things. The best way to report something is visually, because then you can make up your own opinion on what you're seeing. And that's one reason why I don't turn these videos on and off. And one reason why I don't have any comments below, because people, when they make comments, are trying to influence me on my opinion. I'm always laughing when I pick them up in Google Alerts. Okay, but I got 15 ones I open up almost every day, and I try to read the headlines. So I'm headline reading, and then when I see a headline that has a signal that is a better source of information, then I go read it. I have 150 of these pages that I can open up sometimes. It takes a lot of bandwidth to open up 150 pages at one time. And then I read the headlines. So I peruse the headlines, and it requires that I'm a speed reader. Luckily, anybody that cannot read fast and doesn't read books, it cannot have the knowledge of the world. reading is required to understand what's going on in the world. Many people think that they can just watch videos. That's watching somebody else's interpretation of what they read normally. And don't get me wrong, there are very good reporters, but I think that anybody that is paid for by advertising, anybody that has, like, NPR is definitely extremely biased. They have too many, a lot of these things. I was just watching that guy, Bidway or whatever, that kind of one guy is running for president. And he said, there's only two sexes. Anybody that tries to make it like there's all these thousands of sexes, you should really stay away from, because they're trying to virtual signal you. Okay, but when I was in the United States, and I was just in the United States, I try to read 5 newspapers a day, and I can do that really easy by going to the library, and then I'll pick up and idly read magazines. A lot of my information I try to receive randomly. Why do I try to receive it randomly? Because otherwise it's distorted, because I'm choosing what I like to hear instead of what I should accidentally maybe be aware of. Experience first is the best way to know things. So that's why I'm going to Israel, because actual on-the-ground experience as a person is the best way to do it. And when I'm in Israel, I'll be taking public transport. You'll see when somebody pulls up in one of these, a lot of these news reporters will do anything to not actually spend on the ground time with the people. I'll never forget, in the movie, I was watching Godfather 2 the other day, and Michael Corleone was in Havana, and he watched this guy grab a grenade and jump in and kill somebody. And the guy was really upset. He says, what does this have to do with anything? He says, well, the guy killed himself to kill one of the leaders, and a person like that can win. And this is where you don't get it, by being two layers away from reality. You want to be right up close at it, and you've got to be in plain sight. Leaders, very few leaders can actually get close enough to the people of the world to understand it. Charles Murray, or Chuck Murray, wrote a book about this, where he said something like, he made a point, have you ever been in a factory? If you've never been in a factory, how do you know what the real people are doing? Have you ever worked at a job where your body hurt at the end of the day? He went through a whole bunch of these things with trying to explain it. We are so detached, and some people are so entitled that they have no idea what the real world are. And the elitists inside the United States right now are doing this. This is why I travel, so that I can just randomly understand the world. But experiences gives me signals to the truth. And then you have to pull on the thing and follow the thing. A person that's not curious cannot learn. I often put things on tables. I do things in different areas. I'm often planting little information around people, trying to see if anybody's curious about strange things that I put on the tables. Okay, I'll do this in a restaurant. I'll put certain things, because a curious person can't stop themselves. They're going to ask me, what is that, Andy? But if you're around me, I'm doing what I call an Andyism all the time, where I'm always planning information. Like, I'll put a book on the table, or I'll put something really kind of unique to the world. It's like I got a photo book, and my photo book is not very popular because people are not even curious enough to even try to ask or understand what the photos signify. And I did that by design. I wanted to find out if anybody that buys my photo book is actually curious, because these are some of the most unique photos on the planet. There are 26 years of collecting videos that I accidentally took. Very difficult to take a meaningful photo that by design. You accidentally take the photos. But there are some really artistic photos, that you can take. I have Google alerts, so on Israel, by the time I go to Israel, I'll probably have close to 50 different words that are related to Israel, like history of Israel. I'll have Hamas, I'll have Hezbollah, And what I do is I read the headlines, and then I get emails. So I get about right now I probably get about 40 different emails a day from Google Alerts, because it gives me what it does. It does a search, and when a new article is out there, not all of them, but when it does a new article out there, it'll send me what is written. So when I make a video, if I make a video and I put my name, Andy Lee Graham, in the video, it'll send me a link to that video. I'm often watching it because I'm always laughing because I have my name, Andy Lee Graham, and we got these wankers on Reddit that are always, I don't know what they're doing. They're really quite humorous because they're trying to provoke me, which is humorous. They're trolls, and I never read it. But it is fun to know that I'm that popular that a person will go lie about me. You're only as good as your enemies, guys, and my Reddit enemies are not very good. Okay, but I subscribe to dozens and dozens and dozens. I probably subscribe to at least 150 newsletters, because anytime anything is even possibly related to what I'm interested in, I subscribe to the newsletter if I can. And this channel, Israel, my channel, has a newsletter where he is now sending me an email every day, I think. I've only been subscribed for a couple of days. I just discovered it. It's wonderful. I also subscribe to a science magazine that is really spectacular. And but 9 out of 10 of the newsletters I subscribe to are just one big advertisement, and they're trying to be virtual signaling, and they don't care anything about the truth. They're just trying to steer you towards something. So I subscribe and I unsubscribe from a lot of them. But I subscribe randomly to get both sides of the coin, both sides of the issue. That's the reason why reading headlines from 150 news websites is valuable, because I get a lot of different opinions. But most of them are churning. Right now is like really just one. They churn the same headlines on many websites, and so the little websites go and copy from the big websites, and then they try to copy it, and then they reword it. It's called journalism. The data on YouTube is often very, very bad, because a lot of people want to watch videos where it's all about the personality and not the facts. I always watch Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a strange character. I mean, she really will approach any issue in a iconoclast sort of way. But the best videos are the long videos. Very hard to lie on a 2-hour interview video. Okay, you have to be cogent, clear, articulate. You have to be able to. So I try my best to watch videos that are at least 1 hour in length. Joe Rogan's a good one, but Joe Rogan's very big intellectual and very knowledgeable. I like to watch interviews between two people, because a good interview, they delve in, and the dialogue drills down, and you really understand it. So the best videos to watch are, in my opinion, 1 to 2 hour videos. I like the shorts sometimes, because sometimes they do on specific data-driven, factual stuff. It's very quick and concise. Like, what's the 3 best foods for blah, blah, blah. Those are kind of long. But most of the shorts are just made for high traffic, low thing, and appealing to the masses who really don't have the attention span to listen to something for 2 hours. And they don't have the intellectual background, the mental bandwidth to really understand what they're listening to. And so, but some of the podcasts are strictly meant to be inflaming you, to make you angry. I sometimes get angry at Shapiro and different ones of these things, because all they want to do is make me angry at somebody. If you're feeling that the website is trying to make you angry, one of the best ones I watch is Tom Bilyeu, Bileu, because he does go on health theory, and he goes on facts, and he goes on a lot of stuff, and he talks for 2 hours. A lot of people that are working in factories or offices where they can sit and listen to videos for 2 hours probably learn more about the world than a lot of people, because they need a video where they don't have to change it. Anybody that's got the time to deal with TikTok, I mean, it's too interactive. You have to sit there and go on and on and on. And it's random information where you really can't take notes. I take notes on videos I watch. I collect data and I put them into playlists. I have incredible playlists, and by the time I'm through with Israel, I'll have collected a lot of knowledge. That doesn't mean that I'm a eidetic memory or photographic memory where I can just repeat back this information in a way that is cogent for you to understand. It's just not the way my brain works, okay? Some brains just are sort of more scrambled than others, and mine is definitely a unique brain because I randomly switch. I change my thinking midstream. It's kind of like very difficult for me to stay on one topic, okay? But these are some ways that I'm collecting, and I'm peeling the onion to try to understand what is happening in Israel and to try to give you the most well-rounded view of the situation. But there are things that are obviously evil. Attacking the public and what Hamas did was evil, okay? And what a lot of politicians are doing is evil, okay? I wish people were more presidential that are in the United States, but it's a failed state. The United States is a failed country because there is no longer the rule of law. Without the rule of law, you don't have a country. The Constitution of the United States is being destroyed with executive decisions, and basically they just do whatever they want to, and they don't care whether it's the truth or not the truth, and then they rely on people going to the Supreme Court to try to overrule. They know that they can get away with this. It's like too big to fail. Whether Facebook or Metaverse or whatever you call it, all these different organizations know they're too big to take on by the government. Google can get away with murder. YouTube can get away with murder. It's amazing how the rule of law and honesty, and I don't know how people sleep at night. I personally sleep very good because what I tell you, what I say is what I believe, and I'm not trying to work an agenda. You don't see any advertisements on my website hardly anymore. I do want Patreon members, which allows you to talk to me and become a friend. Patreon is so that you can become my friend. I have a GoFundMe page, which is in the links in the description of this, to help me I need about another $1,000, $2,000 to really be comfortable while I'm in Israel. I would like to stay there though, but it'd be really great if you knew some people that are living in Israel where I could go stay for like 5 days. I know they don't want me to live there forever, but I mean, I would like a minimum of 5 days to stay with different people and be immersed in the culture of Israel. Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham. I'm here and you're not. Why not? I've experienced at least 1 to 2 to 5 months in 114 countries. I've been traveling nonstop for 26 plus years. I'm a global citizen. I believe in making the truth, the philosophy of truth, that the idea that we should make the world a better place by telling the truth, by being, this guy's trying to sell grapes. Hey, hay mucho uvas. I'll try to show you.
Costa, uva.
¿De dónde?
Yo, Barranquilla, costeño.
Okay, pero yo haciendo video. Disculpa. Okay, this guy is pretty funny. He's entertaining. That's what I like, when people are entertaining and they're selling stuff. Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham in Colombia. I will be in the United States towards the end of November. Then in the 1st of December 2024, I'll go to Israel. Become a Patreon. It's a good way to learn how to look at the world in a way that you'll never see. You'll talk to a person that's actually been on the ground in 114 countries. And we have fun and life is good. But peeling the onion of knowledge, because there's an illusion of let me say that again, the illusion of information adequacy. This is the idea that you have the illusion that you have an adequate enough information to make a decision. Anybody that talks in a way that is too confident could be considered under an illusion. Don't get me wrong, you need to say things the way you believe them until you don't believe them, then you change. And anybody that doesn't change or evolve or change their opinion over time really is a dangerous person, because they're trying to pander to the audience.